We have a guest in studio today that I'm very excited about, Brother Tony Nassif. God bless you, Brother Tony.
Dr. Mike,
And
good to be with
good
you.
to have you. And you're preventing abuse ministry
Right.
Here in Southern California.
Right.
And we've been wanting to have you on the program because we recently attended one of your big rallies, and you had some very outstanding people there and a tremendous turnout. And I felt it was very, very successful that day. And so we're delighted to have you on the show. And tell us about your ministry and how all this came about.
Well, the focus of what we do is dealing with the problems of human trafficking, sexual exploitation of women and children, the internet predators and safety, and now the drug cartels.
Wow.
And we put on conferences around the country. And now we're doing these one-day conferences, which is the one you attended.
Yes.
And it was just tremendously successful.
Yes.
And our focus is to awaken the church and awaken the public to what's going on in this country and how to protect the women and children and families and deal with the perpetrators. What happened was in 1997, God inspired me to write a script that connected the supernatural realm with child abduction. Well, that was kind of funny because I don't know how to write. And long story short, I wrote about things that were just pouring out of me that were bizarre. And then after I wrote the script, I found out through meeting other people that what I wrote was true.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, there are auctions of children and people in the United States. I met the victims.
My.
Well, I decided, I don't know the warning signs of a predator, so I decided to hold a conference. And then I end up being a part of the Los Angeles Task Force on Human Trafficking. Dr. McKinney, here's what's the crucial part of this. There's nearly 1 million children a year reported missing in America. Within the first 48 hours, these missing children, the runaways, the throwaways, they end up in the arms and the jaws of the traffickers and the pimps. Now here's what's important. The child prostitutes are coming from broken homes where they've been molested or abused. Mm-hmm. The families got to be reasserted, reestablished. We got to be reaffirmed. The children need their mother and father.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We got to go back to the traditions that made us great.
So you say a lot of things that are happening today is the breakdown in the homes and the relationships with parents and children, or perhaps there's no father figure in the home. Things like that are attributed.
Girls are looking for daddy.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for the love of a father, and when they run away or get thrown away, I'll tell you somebody who's going to give them that love. That's the pimp. Mm-hmm. At our conferences, we had a prostitute who, a former prostitute, who's a born-again Christian now. She had a brothel of 400 girls.
Oh my goodness!
At one of my other events that I'm planning, I know a young lady as a Christian. She used to groom the prostitutes.
Oh my goodness! Wow!
And that's how what happens is their soul gets disintegrated because they have no value, and they're looking for love. And the pimp gives them the money, the clothes, the love, until one day the pimp says, honey, it's time to pay the bill.
Wow.
Lay down, I'll show you. Now, Dr. McKinney, this is one thing we set forth. There are several areas dealing with human trafficking. Number one is the primary victim.
Okay.
Number two is the secondary victim. That's the family, the relatives, the nation.
Right.
Number three, you've got the culture. Number four, you've got the perpetrator. Number five, you've got the buyer. But here's one of the most important, and that's the fifth, is the element that fuels the demand.
Okay.
You cannot put out a fire out of a house while the gas line's still burning. Mm-hmm. When you got to shut that gas line off, then you can put the fire out. Otherwise, you're going to keep putting water on it. And the fuel today is the pornography, the sexual depravity of the entertainment industry, the moral decline of the nation, and that's why people got to get involved in politics and government and start shutting off the moral depravity coming out of all areas of government.
I see. I think it's wonderful that you're willing to stand up and declare this openly and even begin this organization. Tell us about your organization of the name of it again.
The Preventing Abuse Foundation.
Okay. When did this all start?
This started out is to be a luncheon of about 50 to 75, 80 people.
Oh my, it's packed out.
And Bert Bachman, God bless him, he said, Tony, just open it up. I said, okay. And God bless Galpin Motors. They really on the front lines with me and help fund this event.
We were so touched that day, not only impressed with what you're doing, but genuinely touched by the Lord with what we learned and what we saw that day going on in our own country, right in our own backyard, not fully realizing all these things. But now that we know, now we have to be a part of what's happening today. So I would just challenge all of the people of God that are watching this program today. I know that you've been touched by this marvelous program, and I know that God is going to really has challenged us today about this very important subject of abuse in our own country, in our own land today, and we really need to pray. Tony, I want to thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you,
it's
Doctor.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Mine,
an honor
it's
to
all
have
mine.
you on the program today. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
and,
Dr. McKinney.
Praise God.